wondering, why is there only a case on this desk? Well, this is not any ordinary case. This is a case that is 2 years in the making, and today it finally launches.
Our friends at HAVN were nice enough to sponsor this video to showcase their brand new case, the HS420, and right here it's looking absolutely beautiful. And guys, this might be the king of aesthetic cases coming to the market right now. And today we're gonna go over this case, all the cool features that, well, HAVN put a lot of time into developing, and then we're gonna build a PC in it. But let's go ahead and talk about the case here because it is a beautiful case, and then dive into all the features that they will implemented to make this a really awesome aesthetically focused case.
So Jonah has already unboxed the case because he is just so excited about it, but they give us this, start here. And so I'm gonna listen for once. I normally don't listen to instructions.
Oh, it comes with gloves?
Oh.
Oh, wow. This is aesthetics.
We've never built with gloves before. Should today be the day?
And if you guys haven't caught the theme of this video, this isn't our normal budget build guide. This is a case that comes in at a premium price point, over $200, but the reason being it has a ton of really cool aesthetic focused things that make it very premium for the premium PC builders. Look at him. He's feeling very premium with those gloves.
Oh, look, they give us all of the screws and some zip ties, very nice. And then I noticed more of these, which I see they're clips for cable routing, which that is a bragging point of many bragging points in this case. There's like 800 points that we have to go over.
So one thing to note about HAVN, a new company in the space, a lot of the designers that work for HAVN come from other companies that have been in the market for a while. We got NZXT, we got Cooler Master, and a bunch of others. And really a lot of the design language comes from a bunch of different case companies, really making a case that, well, is very unique and also boasts a lot of interesting features that you might see. The version we have right here is the vertical GPU mount version, which we'll go ahead and open up and show you guys everything that's inside, which means we can vertically mount a GPU in this thing, and it's gonna look really clean. It's very simple to take the side panel up. I'm gonna lower this for Jonah though, because it is a little bit complicated to show you guys this way. But we need to remove a couple screws to show off this beautiful single piece of tempered glass. Yeah, this single piece of tempered glass is a big selling point that HAVN is really trying to push. It really reduces the amount of like distortion you see on the bend, and it's a really thick piece of glass.
Yeah, that's something that we see a lot with the other curved glass cases in the market is right here. You get a whole lot of, I'd say almost to here on some of the cases, distortion where the glass doesn't look smooth like it does on the rest of the panel. But as you can see, this case has basically none.
So yeah, we're gonna take off all these screws here. We'll remove this back piece right here, and we'll show you guys the fan chamber, which is actually pretty cool for making, again, an aesthetic decision to make the fans look very flush inside the case. Now we're gonna remove this glass, which is on a rail system. So just push out to the side and lift up. Oh goodness, this is heavy, baby. But that glass is crazy.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and sit this right here.
It might be bulletproof.
It might be bulletproof. Cut to us shooting it. Just kidding, that's not what we're gonna do. So yeah, that was one thing too, is not only is it very clean and very different on the case market, it's not super hard to build in. Here's some of the awesome cable routing. I actually really like this.
That's pretty cool.
This is a really cool way to route your cables with these like slots in there. And I'm assuming with the ones you come in, you can adjust to really tighten in your cables. And yeah, that's actually really cool. So you have them right here for the 24 pin, have them right here for, I'm assuming, GPU power, same thing for the CPU power up here. One thing to note, and they did mention this during our call when we initially set this up, this case is not gonna be BTF compatible out of the box, which from our opinion, probably fine because BTF is still, well, in its early stages, but something to note that it will not support BTF. It does come, again, with the version we got, this vertical GPU mount with a riser card that is PCI 5.0, which I don't think there's many case companies that even have PCI 5.0 riser cards.
I don't know of any so far, so.
There is a box in there, which I should probably remove the back panel to actually show you guys what's in the box. More screws, which normally I'm not a huge fan of screws, I'll be perfectly honest, but in terms of rigidity and making things nice and sturdy when you have a really high-end build like this, I kind of understand the direction with that. Also, we've had some trouble with cable management in the back when you don't use screws, you just use pressure. So go ahead and remove this panel, which I can move this one off to the side. So as you can see right here, there's a lot of actual diagrams for how you can run your cables. This says it's recommended for running the 4+4 8-pin, so you can run your 8-pin up through here and go through one of those cutouts. This is for the rear bottom cables. Here's a fan hub that comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans supporting, which we will be using different fans, so may or may not use that hub, but it's nice that it's there if you go with the non-RGB option. And hey, everything is tied up, ready to go. Oh wait, there's more fan hubs. Look at this. There's another one right here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in theory, if you ran non-RGB fans, there is up to 12 fans you could just run off of that and you'll have no problems whatsoever. But of course, with a build like this, we're going RGB and we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, there's that box that just was held in by a little twist tie.
This right here, ladies and gentlemen,
the chamber.
the chamber, the airflow chamber. As you can see on the bottom right here, this is a mounting piece that allows you to add directional airflow to your vertically mounted GPU. So right here are 140 fan slots, and we learned that the hard way, ladies and gentlemen. Talk about that later. But 140 fans right here that you can install, and when you have your vertically mounted GPU right here, you can use this piece. So how this mounts is behind this bracket for the 140 fans. So you grab this right here, and you'll see these little screw holes that you would screw this piece into. And the idea is when the glass panel is on, the air will bounce from the fans right here off the glass and into the GPU that is vertically mounted where my arm is. So again, in theory, we have to test this stuff to see what the temperature difference is like, but again, it's a cool, different way of doing airflow in a style of case that normally doesn't have, let's say, a front intake right here, and normally relies on a side intake, just a way to get your GPU nice and cooler, because hey, we're getting to the point now where GPUs are running hot and they're big. Might as well try to cool them the best we can with something like this.
Now, another really cool feature on this case, because I know a lot of people out there who are building something this high end, they're gonna have some particular taste and they may have a lot of drives. So as you can see, we have ample amount of storage expansion. And what's cool is you can fit hard drives or 2.5-inch SSDs in this. Each one of these pieces comes out. And so in theory, you could load this thing up with drives, or for us airflow enthusiasts, you could just take these out because we're not really super big on having tons of drives. We'd rather have tons of fans. Now for this video, we're not gonna be removing them because we think they look pretty good and we kind of want to test the airflow in this case as is, but you can add 120s or 140s in the back to where you have a ton of fans in this build.
And speaking of the airflow, they did a ton of in-house testing on different fan configurations that make sense, and you can see what kind of temperature profile you would get based on the fan configuration. We'll show some of them on screen here. I'm sure that marketing material will be out there because of the launch day of this case, so you can see some of the stuff they did in-house. But for today's video, now that we've gone over the main focus points of this case, we're gonna build a really aesthetically focused gaming PC inside this thing. The gaming PC we're gonna be building features a Ryzen 7 7700X and RTX 4070 Ti Super. Not gonna lack in power, but also is gonna look really clean to match this white color scheme. So let's go over those parts real quick and then dive into building and show you guys the finished product, because I'm very excited to build in this case and see how it performs.
For the CPU, we went with the Ryzen 7 7700X 8-core 16-thread. Now you may be thinking, why not the 7800X 3D? Well, at the time of recording this, there are shortages on those CPUs. They may be coming out with new ones as we speak, so they are very, very overpriced, and trust me when I tell you, this is a much better bang for buck. Now for the motherboard, we got this at a pretty good price, $209, which, let's be honest, going with an all-white board does cost you a premium, but I would say not in this case. This is the Gigabyte Auros B650 Elite AX Ice. That means you have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Gen 5, DDR5, so all the bells and whistles. You have 4 RAM slots, you have 2 4-pins plus an extra 4-pin for the CPU. So in theory, this thing will easily support 9000 series. It'll support X3D CPUs. So this board just has an amazing upgrade path, and out of the box, it just looks so nice. Now for the RAM, this is some awesome stuff. This is some Teamgroup TCreate 16x2, so 32 gigs total at 6000 megahertz. And one of the reasons that Jonah picked this RAM out is it is CL30, so that's some very good CAS latency timing, and also just some really good frequency overall, and the price. I mean, the price is so good in this RAM at under $100 typically. And one of the goals for this build was to keep the RGB software to a minimum. Let's be honest, having 80 RGB softwares is not very fun. They conflict, they clash, so anything that we can spare not having RGB, we're gonna do. And for the storage, we went with the Klevv Cras C910 M.2. This is a Gen 4 SSD, and this drive is pretty fast for the price. In the 1TB model, we get a sequential read of 5000 megabytes per second, and sequential write, we get 4800 megabytes per second. So this drive, coming at the price point that it does, is pretty compelling. Now, we would have gone 2TB, but we already had this 1TB on hand, and honestly, it is so easy to expand storage these days that you could easily throw another 4, 5, 6 terabytes into this build, no problem, for pretty cheap. Now to cool this CPU, because aesthetics, guys, we got the NZXT Kraken Elite 360 RGB. So not only is this a very good looking cooler for this all white build, but obviously we have some really nice ARGB fans from NZXT. We have the full-size LCD display, which is very important if you want to have a full-size GIF. And on top of that, this thing is going to run so incredibly cool that it's just going to blow our socks off.
And of course, for the graphics card, we had to go with this Gigabyte Aero OC 16GB 4070 Ti Super. Very beautiful card, 3-fan design, all white, that's gonna match this case perfectly. And it's a great card from NVIDIA for entry-level 4K, and honestly, the best price performance is at 1440p. Main reason why we chose this GPU. And with 16 gigs of VRAM, it's perfect for the latest titles coming to the market. And for the power supply, we went with the MSI Mag A850GL PCIe 5.0 power supply, 850 watts, 80 plus gold. This power supply does come with PCIe PCI 5.0 support, but in this video, we will not be using that because we are gonna be using some sleeve cables. We'll talk about it here in a second to match the all-white aesthetic we're looking for. But hey, these MSI power supplies are really awesome, and if you're building this PC or any PC, you can use that ATX 5.0 ready cable to get really awesome power to your NVIDIA GPU. And with 846 watts on the 12-volt rail, it has plenty of power to power this build. And for the cables, to round out an all-white PC build, we had to get some white sleeve cables from Asiahorse. As we mentioned, this does come with an ATX 3.0 cable, but you have to use the PCI power cables to ATX 3.0 to get it to work. So again, you won't use the one that comes with this power supply, use the normal PCI power from the power supply, but hey, ATX ready, it's gonna be really clean for this build, and they're not too expensive. Really, any PC build at this price point should have sleeve cables, and these white ones will get the job done. And to round up the case, of course, we gotta add some RGB here. We want these NZXT F140 RGB core fans, and we also got a pair of F120 RGB fans from NZXT. We're gonna add the 3 140mm fans on the bottom, we're gonna add the 2 120mm on the back, and then the fans that come with the radiator are gonna round out all the fans in this PC build. So now that we've taken our time to put together this beautiful gaming PC inside this new HAVN case, let's go ahead and dive into a montage to show off all the beautiful components this case has to offer, and then game on it to see how it performs. Alright guys, now that we have this beautiful PC built and ready to go, let's dive into some gaming, shall we? Because hey, it's a gaming PC, we got a game on it. You know, it can't just look good, it's got a game also. So we're gonna be playing the finals at 1440p on high settings with high ray tracing, no DLSS, so no fake frame for you guys at home. I know you'll feel about DLSS, but we'll go ahead and see what kind of FPS we're getting, and at 1440p, we're getting 120 FPS, baby. Temperatures, great. That GPU is running super cool. We're at 97, 90, not even 100% usage just yet, but we're below 60 degrees Celsius. I will say it's a little bit chillier in this room right now. It's starting to get cold here in Louisville, Kentucky, but give it a little bit, it might warm up, or these might be the temps that we're working with, depending on the ambient temperature. So this is looking pretty solid right now. There you are. Nice try. Flying grenade. Yeah, this combo is perfect. Honestly, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if we had the option, we would have got the 7800X 3D, but I mean, I'm still incredibly happy with the 7700X. Very good alternative if you're wanting to go AMD, and the performance is still very good, and the 4070 Ti Super is great in a game like this. This is an NVIDIA title, so obviously NVIDIA GPUs are gonna run a little bit better on it, but hey, this is a game that has a lot of crazy physics, as you can see happening, and we're still maintaining 100 FPS at 1440. I see him now. Oh God, flamethrower. Temperatures are still crazy good right now. I really think this airflow method works really well. Yeah, I'm impressed with it. And obviously 4070 Ti Super is a GPU that doesn't run incredibly hot. I mean, we have a really good cooler on it. But if you were running, let's say a 4090, a really beefy GPU inside this, you'll have no problems keeping it really cool. Team 5-8, oh, everyone's dead. Well, that's a GG right there. That GPU didn't even exceed, it didn't even hit 60 degrees Celsius. That's crazy good temperatures for the GPU. CPU is pretty average, but I think the main focus in this is just exceptional GPU cooling, and so far so good. Let's move on to the next game.
All right guys, we are playing some Warzone, and we are pushing this PC a little bit because, well, it deserves it. We're running 1440p. We got a max FOV, we're on the balance preset with no upscaling, so we get some true accurate results. We have the fans up pretty high in this build right now, so the temps are gonna be obviously really good, but keep in mind, we do have the fans a little bit high of an RPM.
Yeah, we'll definitely tune that into what we would normally like after we're done with this benchmark run, and run an OCCT stress test to see what the GPU and CPU maximum is when we have the fan curve set a little bit more appropriately, because you might actually be able to audibly hear these fans right now. They are a bit louder.
Our GPU at 100% so far is at like 54C. We'll see if it raises, but it's pretty much at the temp right now. Where are the fans actually even spinning on the GPU, or maybe they're just
they
starting?
are actually, yes.
Okay, so they're probably just starting to spin. Normally fans stop. You're not going to see these fans start moving until probably like 40, 45C.
These GPU
yes,
temps
baby.
are so unhinged. It just went down to 49 at one point.
Yeah, we probably should just put a 4090 in it.
Yeah, honestly, like 4070 Ti Super, this cooling setup is definitely overkill for it, which is funny to say for a 4070 Ti Super, which is a high-end GPU in our opinion.
I guess it's safe to note too, our ambient temperature here is probably around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes. Oh my God. Oh. Oh, yeah, he must have a teammate because he only went down. Teammate didn't care about him. He abandoned him.
Oh. Oh. Wow.
That was just light work, honestly. I could do that again 10 times over.
Wow. What is happening? Why aren't they shooting at you?
I don't know, they're bot lobby.
Dude, whoa, where do they all come from?
They keep landing on me. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, he just said no. He said no way.
No way.
That definitely was a way. You didn't shoot back, brother.
Oh. Buddy's coming. Why is Buddy peeking?
I don't know, but he's not. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. I guess his friend is a self.
It's like, run away. What? That no scope? Hello? What the hell? You're mowing him. Precision airstrike?
Why is this gun shoot so slow? Ah, wasn't worth it.
The feds.
Wasn't
you
worth
got
it.
killed by the feds.
The feds caught on to me, but I mean, hey, we were getting like 180 plus FPS pretty much the whole game, so that was pretty awesome at 1440p.
Yeah, we'll run our other built-in benchmarks, you know, usual stuff we normally do, and we'll dial in those fan curves to get exactly the way we want it, run a stress test, see what the final temps are, but hey, if you're an enthusiast that wants a no-compromise, really aesthetically pleasing case, HAVN's got you covered right now.
Alright guys, we just got done benchmarking on this amazing case, and we kind of benchmarked it in two different ways. First, we just let these bottom fans on the hub run at 100% before we adjusted the fan curves, and the temps were pretty insane. I mean, the GPU practically didn't even need to run the fans. However, the bill is pretty loud. Some of you at home may prefer it that way. You might be okay with some really loud fans if it means really low temps, but here at the Toasty Bros, we like our PCs to run pretty quiet. So I got the fan curves adjusted to where they're running about 50% under full load, and with that, we still got really respectable temps on the CPU and GPU.
Running OCCT, we had no problems getting 60 to 61 degrees Celsius max on the GPU, and the CPU is about 80 degrees Celsius, which is pretty common for 7000 series Ryzen, especially when it has a bunch of headroom to boost all the way up to about 130 watts at sometimes if it wants to. We also ran some other benchmarks as well. We ran Cyberpunk 1440p ultra settings with ray tracing using balanced DLSS. We got an average of 108 FPS, a minimum of 94, and a max of 122. Of course, Black Myth Wukong 1440p with frame gen on very high settings. We got 118 FPS with a minimum of 38 and a max of 132. And our 3D Mark score was 21,667, which all in all for the spec configuration, we obviously know how well the 4070 Ti Super and 7700X are gonna work together, but really the star of the show is this beautiful HAVN case. And for those who are in the premium market for a case that is very unique and definitely stands out in the space right now, you should definitely check the link down below and consider this HAVN case, the vertical GPU mount or the non-vertical GPU mount, using the links down below. And shout out again to HAVN for sponsoring today's video. Let us know what you think of this case in the comments down below.
And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros. And do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
All right, Jonah, you got to carry this thing out of here now. You know where it's got to go.
It's got to go to PC Bros, and Jonah's got to carry it while holding that camera. Come on, let's go. Let's go. PCBros.tech. Where all the game. Oh my God, he almost fell. He almost fell. Wait, Jonah, where are you going?
See you later, buddy.
PCBros.tech. Toasty Bros, save 3% on a PC. See you later. Bye.